Hey guys, it's been another week, and that means another compilation of me do thing and it work. If you have any ideas or something you would like to change, tweak, or add, put it in the comments and I'll make sure to check it out. Last video, I made most of the core mechanics, and now it's finally time to add guns to my multiplayer zombie roguelike. But now you're probably wondering how I got here. Honestly, I don't know how this happened. But what I do know is that this week of suffering started the day after I posted my second devlog. I wanted to make more features that aren't just, the code base is much more stable now, so I started by adding guns, not really considering first person until it was done. Here's how that went. Step 1 to making a gun is to make a gun. Then once that very easy step is done, you can put that on your player and now you're done. Well, almost. The easiest way to add any weapon to a third-person controller is to child the gun underneath the right shoulder. And now that the gun follows your player's position, next is to add IK to the arm, so you don't have to make any animations for holding and aiming. Now it looks almost complete. Which is a lie big video game wants you to believe. Next is aiming your weapon to the point where the center of the screen is by raycasting from screen space to world space. That will get the point at where you're aiming and will tell the gun where the bullet is going. So now that I got that working, I want the player's body to also rotate a little bit to point where you're aiming. And now he's sassy. You know the saying, don't shoot yourself in the back, because he doesn't. Then I decided to use 100% of my brain to get it all working. Okay, maybe not 100%. Now that it's finally done and working, I'm able to start working on the head. And that's not what I wanted. After many trials, I was able to get close, but due to something I'll talk about later, I was unable to get the head fully working. Now that I had most of the systems in place, I could add support for fully automatic weapons. I honestly don't know what I was trying to do in this clip, but I know for sure it wasn't make him boogie down and do a jig. Now it's time to add camera shake, which actually wasn't that bad. I just needed to make a Cinemachine extension that added rotation without actually adding any rotation at all. What? You're wondering what I mean by that? I don't know, I just work here. Then I thought the recoil was a little too easy, so I removed the X rotation cap, and now you can use your entire mouse pad. Because everyone can't be as good as me, I had to tone it down. But I also made it to where if you can control your recoil, it would stay where your mouse is. Only now that the guns are done, I realized that I needed to keep the gun parented under the camera, so that way in first person it would always look right. I didn't do that. So because I was back at step 2 on how to make a gun, I decided to use an asset I got on discount over the break. This should hopefully help speed up the process. It didn't. First thing on the list was to gut the entire asset and make it work with the new input system. This will also make it automatically work on all controllers. While I was in the code, I also tweaked some things to further suit my needs. One of those being to make the animations no longer work. I also changed movement to be handled by a free kinematic controller to make things easy. It didn't. And also give my player better physics. I then re-added the animations back, and now with everything working perfectly, let's add my model to it. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Second try is the charm. Third try is the charm. Fourth try is the charm. Fifth try is the charm. After finding my inner peace, I had a closer look at those bones. As it turns out, Entity had been trolling me the whole time. So I had to pull it into Blender and replace all bones because Mixamo was feeling a little silly that day too. After converting his spaghetti into a skeleton, I put it back into Mixamo, which would then do the bulk of the weight painting for me. All I had to do now was tweak the headgear on some of the characters and put it back into Unity. I was also going to yell at Blender too for thinking Z was common as an up vector or that everything should be scaled by 100, but I'm not going to, because there's much more in life to be mad about, like Blender being a... Now that I got the player model working, I find out that the character motor is setting the rotation to 0 every frame, which stops you from turning. After thinking that I had fixed everything and got the first person camera also working, I hit record and accidentally turned more than 180 degrees, breaking that illusion. I need to chill out before people start calling me the angry video game dev. Next, I also tried turning the player to face the way you're looking when passing a threshold, but I didn't account for the player's rotation, so you turned forever after passing said threshold. After about 3 hours, I had finally fixed the player's rotation problem. Until you go into first person, that is. So I ended up fixing the first person camera, and now the third person camera is broken again. Finally, everything was finally fixed and working. So I turned the motor controller back on, and I think I'm done for today. And that's what I spent my entire week's worth of free time doing. If you made it this far, thank you. I hope this video didn't discourage you from thinking that this will get finished, because it will get finished. If you want to play for yourself on an older build and mess around with what I have made, the link to my itch page where you can download it is in the description, and it's completely free. And don't forget to smash like if you like, smash dislike if you don't, and I'll see you next time, where I hopefully won't lose my mind.